All right, as you guys know, welcome back to another episode of Comedian's Bed. And as I always like to do, I like to give a little intro for our guests. I'm gonna start that over
Nah, you're good. You're fine.
because I'm high right now, but it's all right.
You're fine. You might just keep it. I like that. That's good energy. Keep it natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but he doesn't even know that we used to live in the same town. I doubt it was at the same time, but this guy right here is a great comic, man. He's hilarious. We did a show together. It was my first festival. This
hmm
guy is not only a funny comedian, but he's a genuine guy with a big heart. I love the fact that on his social media that he boosts his wife up as his backbone. That right there lets me know that he got a
Yeah.
good head on his shoulders.
All right.
Please, everybody, please give a round of applause to our next guest, Jesse Pimpinella, everybody.
What's up, everyone? It's good to be on the show. Yeah. I love the applause break. It's good
Yeah.
energy here, people. No, Ty, it is awesome to be on the show. And like I said, I am a person with a big heart, but my wife even bigger heart.
Yeah.
She supports me in everything that I do. She was a co-producer on my comedy special, and people don't know how much she did behind the curtain of everything to keep me sane for that night.
Right.
And actually, I'm blessed enough to now I'm going to start co-hosting a show with her
Okay.
called The Bride of Pimpy. Pimpy's my name she gave me, and so yeah, we're doing that on Facebook Live at the Grown Ups Table on Sundays. So it's because we love horror movies.
Right.
And this is the time of the year to talk about horror movies. So like I'm just a geek of that stuff.
How long have you guys been married?
We've been married for 2 years, but we've known each other since Catholic high school. That's
Okay.
how far back we went. But it's so funny because none of us are Catholic anymore. Like they kind of beat it out of you on your way out. You're
Yeah.
like I think I know what's going on. Yeah. But we were friends for a very long time, and one of the nice things, and I think that was what's so great because our marriage is built on the fact we were friends, and to this
Yeah.
day we're still like friends, and I think that's what makes it so great because like I love hanging out with my wife. You always hear comedians
Yeah.
kind of groan about hanging out with their wives, like oh yeah, that's why you got that whole genre of comedy, like take my wife, please,
Yeah.
and it's like for me, I'm just like I can't wait to go home.
Right,
Yeah,
right. No,
but
I agree with what you're saying actually because my girl, she kind of like helps me a lot, and if I produce a show, like she usually the one that like buys the liquor and I like pay for the venue and stuff like that. So
hey,
it's really important to have that teamwork. Like how does, like you said, she helped out with the special. I know that took a while and it was a lot for you. Like in
oh
what
yeah.
ways is it easier for you?
She made it easier because like there are a lot of times on the path to getting that completed, I wanted to quit so much at times. And like I'm just like I'm done, I'm out of here. And it's like because what happened was we filmed it, it was great, and then COVID-19 hit and it destroyed post production. And then at one point we had a distributor for it to go out with. They backed out, but not because of anything we did wrong. I think it was the climate of everything. So, and I understand that happens. It's business. And there was just times where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm screwing this up. I'm not doing it. I had, this director that was amazing that helped me out. I have these fantastic producers, including my wife. And I just felt like I was letting them down. And they're just like, no, carry the ball, get it over the touchdown line. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel good. And God bless the fact that they said that to me because we got there. And I remember when I knew everything was good. It was
Mhm.
October 1st, or technically it was October 2nd because it was past midnight. Me and my wife were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I my arm over her, we're just watching. And all of a sudden, that's when we got the alert that I hit #1 on Amazon. And I was
Mm.
like, holy shit. And she kind of looked me in the eye and was like, told you. It's like she knew. She's like, just keep doing. She sometimes I think knows like what I bring to the table more than I do. And
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, I literally feel like, she's just incredible. And she made the process so much easier because there were a lot of times, as a comic, there's self-doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you'll look yourself in the mirror after some shows and you're like, even though you just killed, you'll look yourself in the mirror, you're like, you're not funny. What the heck? How the hell did you fool those people into making them laugh? You're a fraud. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
that craziness. And she was able to help me kind of keep that under control. Sorry, my dog's barking. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, no, she was really good about that. Really great. So
yeah, man.
And it seems like you got a good woman on your hands. Seems like she's a team. You're a team. That's the thing. And that's what I think is so important, is to have that teamwork.
Yeah. We first met, she did not like comedy. Like, she would not laugh at anything. So now, now that she's actually like, laughing at stuff, it makes it easier. It makes it easier. So yeah, she's everything. So all right. So I looked
real quick. Can I say one thing real fast?
Yeah,
it's so funny you said that. So my wife, okay, so when we went to high school together, when we graduated, she went to New York to go to an acting academy, and she's a fantastic actress. She decided that wasn't the path she wanted to go with. She wanted to go a different way. But during that time in New York, her and her actress friends, they had a pact that no matter what, under no circumstances, do you go on a date with a stand-up comic. And she married one, so she like failed epically. Like, I don't think she talks to her New York friends anymore because of me.
Yeah. So you guys are both in the entertainment industry?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. She's way more talented than me. Way more. I just feel like a vampire. I'm just sucking it out of her and I'm taking it for myself. You know what I mean? I'm like the hocus pocus witch. I'm just like sucking the soul out of her. I'm funny now. Just like, that's all it is at this point.
That's what's up, man. That's good. Especially for somebody to be in the business with you, she kind of understands like the ins and outs and kind of give you some tools and probably, put your name in rooms that you probably wouldn't have got in for yourself.
Yeah, no. She's definitely has helped me with that, especially like she knows people that now I see in my audiences when I go up to Youngstown and perform and stuff like that. Kind of these people I never really saw in my audience. Now they're bringing people and stuff like that. So, it's good. I think anytime you find somebody who just wants to push you up, like right. I think what's really great in a relationship is when both people see themselves as a stage while the other person they think is the star, and they push that person up. So when you got two people that are constantly pushing each other up, the sky's the limit. I mean, that to me is beautiful. I mean, that's what any marriage should be, pushing the other one up to their next level.
That's a good analogy, man. I'm gonna take that going forward. So you guys, you did mention Youngstown, and I brought it in the intro. Like, I used to live in Youngstown, man. I used to live in Youngstown for 3 years. I went to Youngstown State.
Hey, fellow Penguin! All right, all right. Where did you live in Youngstown?
My first year I lived on the dorms, of course, and then after that I lived like on an apartment on campus.
What years?
So I graduated in 2009. So 2010 through 2013 is when I went there. Yeah.
We went to college at the exact same time.
We did. Oh wow.
I swear to God. I didn't graduate until 2015. I was a part of Rookery Radio and all that stuff. I'm not sure if you knew what that was.
I did Rookery Radio too, man.
Wait, get out of here. You did Rookery Radio?
Yeah, I did Rookery Radio too.
So everybody knows what Rookery Radio is. But Adam Earnhardt started a radio station, and it was sponsored by the CW for a while, and it gave me such a great start with comedy and giving me an outlet. And that's so cool. You were on there, man.
Yeah,
what year were you on the airwaves?
I think it was my second year. So that was 2010, 2011. So 2011 to 2012.
Dude, I was on the air with you at that point.
Really?
Our shows were on the same scheduled quarters. Holy hell. Can you believe that? I mean, I understand that for those that aren't familiar with the radio station, it's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. You sometimes it's always that instance where you see someone still doing the show, you're looking at your work show, you're like, dude, they better get out of here. I got my show.
Yeah. And I had like the prime spot. I had like the prime spot. I would go Friday nights, and I would go from like 8 to like 11, I think. So,
there we go. Excellent.
Yeah. But it didn't have
Oh my, that I knew you said Youngstown when we were at the festival. You said Youngstown, and you didn't see this, and I'm glad you didn't see this. But my wife or my friends, anytime I hear Youngstown, I go whoop whoop. I'm like so excited. I'm like yeah, yeah. I'm like Youngstown is like this. It's like a weird badge of pride. It's a badge of pride,
man. Because
it's like if you survive Youngstown, you survive anything.
That's what I was gonna say. Like Youngstown made me the man who I am today. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it had not been for me going there, that was the first time I like lived on my own. So like that's where I learned to cook, all that. Like yeah. So Youngstown, that was the deal, man. So like my last year in Youngstown, I lived in Liberty. So what part of like Youngstown did you live in?
I was close to Liberty, not far away. I was in Hubbard.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, I swear you and I have probably walked past each other at a gas station getting gas or getting a morning coffee, and we didn't even know it. That is insane, people. I mean, astronomically, just as common. But I've been noticing a lot of people from Youngstown have came down to Columbus. I've been noticing there's this great exodus from Youngstown to Columbus lately. Yeah. Like I was at Tim Hortons, and this woman, she had 330 on her wrist, like a tattoo. And I Lark, I'm like, you penguin? And she gave me her years. And I was like, oh my God. Like she literally yelled out 09 to 012. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I almost wore my Youngstown jacket for you, but I was like, man, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I would have ran out and got my my Letterman jacket. We would have got matched.
I miss Youngstown so much, and I want to do a show. I want to do a show up there. Like that was my first time I ever did comedy, and then I waited like a couple years to do it again. But I want to do like a show up there so much. But the only thing that keeps me from not going is the freaking drive, man. I can't.
I'll tell you what. Let's after this, because I mean, obviously we're doing a show here. We don't want to talk too much business and too much cool. But talk to me, man. I still go up there and perform gigs up there. Okay, you and I, we'll do a drive. We'll do a drive up, drive in, drive out kind of deal.
Yeah, because when you constantly drive up there, it's like it's okay. It's not a bad drive. But like if you haven't done it in a while, that's a long drive, man.
it's Akron. It's that 1 hour through Akron is longer than the 2 hours on 71. I don't know how it is. It just is. Yeah. And I can't explain it. It's like a weird, like time just changes and you don't know it exists anymore. But that's why I try to I try to make my car as peaceful as possible.
Yeah.
Like as a comic, you drive a lot. We do drives. That's what we do as comics. And I'll have a pillow. I got a giant one of those styrofoam cups. I'll get French fries and shove them in there. So in the cup holder, so I'm eating fries. I have it made in the shade. I'm listening to a book on tape. It's my Shangri-La.
You know what? Youngstown, the city of Youngstown owes me thousands of dollars because every tire of mine went flat messing with them potholes. Them potholes is nothing to play with, man. Them's a different type of potholes in Youngstown.
Dude, I bent my rim one time on one of these potholes, man. And here's how angry I got. And look, I was with somebody I was dating at the time, and they realized oh, he's a psycho. I mean, dude, I bent my rim. And for those people who don't know, when you bend your rim, it is an expensive amount of money to replace. Yeah. But if you got a car that isn't rim friendly, as in it's hard, I had a Jeep. The closest place I could get a rim the last time I had a rim bend was in New York City, Youngstown, New York City.
Yeah.
So anyway, I bent the rim. I got so angry. I grabbed a rock and I threw it at a billboard sign, yelling "fuck." And then I had to sit there and try to prove that I'm a sane human being to this girl. I'm like, you don't understand. It's a rim. It's a lot of money.
Man, listen, man. I think it was a couple months before I left or whatever, or maybe the first semester. I hit a pothole so hard that it knocked down my flex pipe. It was already a bad pipe already, but it knocked it completely off. And I was just man.
How many times did you kick your car? How many
Oh
times?
my god! And that was my first car too. Like
No.
it was just and then like the day that I was leaving, it would not start. Like it started to get me to get me to Subway on campus, like meet my friends, and then like it wouldn't start again. And I was like, bruh, like I just want to leave. Like, and then my friend came and he like, man, watch out, and he like yanked it, like he like started it, and it started right up, and I was like, thank you, Jesus, because
isn't it those friends are blessings?
Yeah,
they
man.
always have been blessings because it's like, you know, having friends like that. I had friends like that. I had a friend that knew so much about cars just so he can understand cars more. His first car, he took it apart piece by piece. If I had done that, you would have saw me in my garage with a shotgun in my mouth. Like, why would I do this? I would be like, I'm an idiot. Why would I do that? But no, he took it apart, put it back together. He knows everything about cars. Those friends are an absolute blessing anytime you're in trouble.
Yeah, man. Then I made that move down back home and I went to Ohio State, and that's when I was like, oh, this is what real college is like. All right. This is real cool. Okay.
For those that don't know, Youngstown State University stands for "You screwed up."
Right.
You know, I say in my comedy act, our acceptance letters came with a +1. All right, it's dude, like here's community college, here's us. Like we're like, listen, my degree. Like it was so funny. Like I remember there was this guy. I remember my mom. She's like, "Oh, you gotta get good grades in high school. You gotta do great. You're gonna get into a good college, right?" I got straight A's all through it, and I'm like, "All right, I'm in college." And then the guy that sits next to me in my first day of college was somebody who slept every day in high school and got D's all the way through. Right. And I was like, I could have done that. I could have done that. I could have slept in every class, could have got D's and still get where I was.
Man, I knew stuff was getting real when I got a academic probation letter from Youngstown State. I was like,
damn.
Oh. Like, dude, what are we doing?
What the hell you do?
I don't even remember what I was doing. I think it was my first semester, and I was chilling. I was chilling, man. I was chilling. Crazy. But then I turned it around. I took the classes over again. But like, I was in undergrad for 7 years, and it was because I had to take so many classes. That's what that and transferring so much. Like, yeah. So what did you make the move down from Youngstown to Columbus? And what made you make the move too?
So at first, when I was doing the college racket, I was going to law school to become a lawyer. And I wanted to go to Capital University. When I say I want to go to Capital University, I mean they were the only ones that took me. That's it. I was getting rejected left and right. It was high school prom all over again. And then I looked across the room, and there was the one chick missing an eye. You know, she has an anchor tattoo on her chest, and I'm like, that's her. That's who I'm taking to prom. So I went to Capital, and it was good. It wasn't for me. It turned out it wasn't for me. It's a good school. It's a good school. I know I mess with it, but it's a good school. And so then I decided, I got into other stuff, but comedy was the main thing. Comedy was what was my bread and butter, and I got to work with so many people that really boosted me up. Some Johnny Lee Dam, Kenny Miller. These are comics that I want people to know so much about, because these guys, without them, there is no Jesse Pimpinella. He doesn't exist. They gave me the opportunities I needed. Some of the club owners that gave a shot on me. And then that was amazing. Because that's the one thing about comedy that I always tell people are starting out. There's always this it seems impossible, and don't get me wrong, there are times where it seems impossible. Right. But what's so great is the odds are most of the time in your favor. And what I mean by that is you only need a certain amount of yeses. You could take on an indefinite amount of no's in your life. Right. But you just need a few yeses to put you in the right spot. For example, there are probably hundreds of thousands of venues in this country that you could do comedy at, whether it's a club, a fire hall show, and get paid that night. I mean, there's a lot, you know what I mean? And all you need, So you can work every weekend. It's about 104. That's 52. That's 52 venues if you do 2 nights. But I mean, that's all you need is 52 yeses. Yeah. So out of 100 million no's, if you get 52 yeses, you're a complete success. Hell, if you get 30 yeses, you're a complete success at this. So that was one thing I learned a lot about, especially with like when I law school, like that one school that said yes to me. You know what I mean? I just needed one yes to become a lawyer. Those 500 no's that I got don't matter. Didn't matter. I just needed a yes. And somebody said yes. So I always tell people, when people say yes to you, man, not only should you, respect that person, but make sure somehow you can pay it back to them, pay it forward sometimes. Sometimes that's what they want you to do, is pay it forward. So when you find somebody who's out there getting a bunch of no's, give them a yes. Give them a yes, so they keep passing on the yeses. Because comedy, while sometimes it's, it's you and the audience, one-on-one, mano a mano. That philosophy is all good and stuff, but when you can work together with other comedians to make opportunities and help others out, this art, it transcends to something better. It transcends to a community. It transcends to the ability to make a living at this, I think. And that's all what we ultimately want. I mean, we're not, rich and famous is amazing, but hey, if we can make enough money doing comedy to put bread and butter on the table, pay the bills, take care of the family, then in my opinion, you made it. That's the American dream, is it not? So
well said, man. Very much well said. So how do we get from Youngstown to Columbus? We already talked about that. How do we get from Columbus back to Youngstown? I know we touched on that a little bit to film our comedy special. Your comedy special, not ours. My fault.
Trust me, I told everybody that day when we filmed it, it's our comedy special. Everybody, because everybody there was bringing their A game. You got the sound guys over here, the camera guys over here, and I was like, any advice, if you guys know any way to make this better, you come to me. We're not one of those people like, well, thank you, we'll take that into consideration.
Right.
Yeah. So anybody who's involved in helping it, making it an amazing comedy special, I'm like, it's part of you now, because you helped make it great. So how we got there was, there's 2 players that are very important to the story. Matt Onesti and Harrison Poole. Matt Onesti, these 2 comedians are amazing. And at the time they were in film school, right? But these guys didn't need film school. These guys were geniuses behind the camera automatically. I've seen their work. I love their work. They were just doing it just so that they, nowadays you have to have the credibility from something. Right. That's all it is. But whether diploma or not, these kids were geniuses. And I say kids, they're my age. But anyways, so we just said, why not one night? Why not? Yeah. We were talking about one day I want to do a comedy special. I want to do a comedy. And Harrison, Poole, and Matt looked at me and like, why not? And I'm like, what do you mean? Why can't we do it? Tell me why we can't do it. Well, we need cameras, we need a crew, and they had the resources. So because they were film students, they had access to all the state-of-the-art camera equipment that they can use for their thesis statement, which was my comedy special. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, okay, we have the equipment, but what about the people? What about the people, the crew and all that stuff? A bunch of people who need credits for school. Right. They can use this as a credit, and we can pay them. Where are we going to get the money? We sell tickets. We sell enough tickets to break even that night for all to pay everybody else and everybody get happy. And then I'm like, wait, I work for free? And they're like, fuck yeah, you work for free. It's your special. All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Good point. I'll work for free. Right. So everybody made money that night except for me. Yeah. everybody made money that night, which is fine with me. I was fine with that because like these guys were making my dream come true. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was getting that night. So, and I know I wanted to do it in Youngstown. Youngstown was where I started doing comedy. And I wanted, it had to be back there. So we did it in the Knox building, the federal building in downtown Columbus. There's this middle floor that was just completely empty. And what the crew and cast did was amazing. They made it look like this beautiful hall. When you took it down after everybody left, you were just thinking, "Oh God, we all breathe that much asbestos." No, I'm kidding. We didn't breathe that. There was no asbestos. I'm kidding. But anyways, no. They made it look so beautiful. We had a 6 camera setup.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a sound crew. I was mic'd up all over me. I had the mic in my hand, but I had the mic on my black shirt. And so we said, all right, let's do this. So me and Matt was also going to film his special. We filmed our specials back to back for 2 shows one night. I did my 45. He did his 45. And then we did it. We sold out both shows. We oversold them. So there was 200 seats. We sold 250 for each show. So, everybody, the most important part was everybody got paid. Mm-hmm. The laughs were good. Everything was great. The show went off without a hitch. So it was the best moment ever. The hardest moment what came after was post-production when COVID hit, because we couldn't all get in the same room together at one point. Mm-hmm. Just because Matt had some health issues and stuff like that. So we had to be very, very careful. But like I said, we got it cut together. We had a couple post issues with colorization, trying to make the colors match, because when you have multiple cameras in different lighting situations, you want to make it look seamless so it doesn't look like a different camera. Because the art of camera scene switches, you want to make it feel like it didn't happen, but it did. So they got that, and then our first distributor, we were going to go through Amazon 100%. Mm-hmm. But what happened was during the time, the network to put stuff onto Amazon was getting bogged down by a lot of fake documentaries and that were filled with fake information. Mm-hmm. And the documentaries, nonfiction, specials were all in the same category. So what happened was Amazon had a strict rule where anything submitted from this date and this date was denied automatically for public safety reasons. But the problem with that was if you were denied, you could never be reinstated. Even if you had the best reason in the world, right? So that was the moment that was one of my first moments where I was like, oh God, this is over. This is over. Everything we worked for up to this point but my wife, my friends, they said, no, carry it, go all the way. I was like, all right, fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into film festivals. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in film festivals, get it running that round. Harrison, who's a genius, found a way to release the audio on Amazon.
Okay.
I was like, all right, we got something. Might not be the video, but it's the audio. I can do that. I can definitely take that. And I had the video special to be bought for my website. And then, like I said, it came time around. We did everything we could. We advertised. We went to every podcast from here to PA, advertising this every way we possibly can. Yeah. I think at one point, one of the ideas was for me to get a tattoo if we sold a large amount, which is on the table for the second special. So, the story has a happy ending because the second special has been greenlit by Nowhere Record, Going Nowhere Records. Nowhere Fast. Jeez, they're going to drop me. They're going to drop me. They're like, what? We made your dream come true? Really? You can't even say our fucking name right? Sorry, am I allowed to cuss on here? I'm pretty sure. All right, good. All right. I mean, there's like nice cats up here and stuff, and I'm just over here just cursing it out. Anyways, Nowhere Fast Records. All right, so they were talking about me getting a tattoo. I was going to get a tattoo. If I sold this much, I'll get a tattoo. Hot mess, which it's still on the table, and because I'm going to double up with this next one. Say I'll get both titles, the first special and the second special, on my back. But besides the point, but yeah, like I said, we got it there, and then come the morning it drops on Amazon. I get a call, and I didn't have my phone all day because I just didn't want to. I was afraid. What are the results going to be? But I get a call, and there was like 5 missed calls. I get my director, Harrison. He's like, dude, have you looked at Amazon lately? I'm like, what? You're 10. I'm like, what? Somebody should fix the glitch on that website. That can't be fucking right. And I was right next to Andrew Schultz. I was right next to all these people. I was second, and then eventually I moved up to second to Bo Burnham's recent special Inside. And I was like, this gotta be a freaking mistake. And then my buddy's like, no, it's not. Here's the counter. Here's the number. Here's the money. I'm like, fuck. And then, like I said, it went all the way all day until around midnight. We hit number 1, and we stayed at number 1 for the whole rest of the weekend. And it was just, and then we did the next night, we did the launch show, which we did a CD launch show. We had people buy CD, buy the video special and everything. And it was just that weekend was the most unreal thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
Last year. And what it did was it just showed me, that anybody, if you just say, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself, those words are so powerful. They are so powerful. And it showed me you could take whatever you want to do and choose your own destiny, choose your own adventure, and just do it, and it taught me that the word no, someone telling you no, you can't do this. And I remembered at that moment, I remembered every time someone said I can't do what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it's like, I did it.
Right.
And I'm going to go do it again. And I'm going to make the next special. I'm going to do it. It's going to be bigger than it was this first one. And it's all thanks to the amazing team. Like I said, I was the 10% that performed and did my job correctly twice in one night. That was my job. That's all I thought. Right. I just did my job twice. That's it. That's all. And then after that, they edited, they colored it. They had music. They had this, they had that. And I thanked everybody on the credits of that thing, because there's credits at the end of my special. I was like thanking everybody. You rock. You rock. Everybody got a thank you, because that was what we did. Was not blind luck. It was not luck. Luck would have been just fucking it up and somehow it goes out correctly. No, we the only thing that operated in that 12-month period to get it released, the only thing that operated properly was the team that was behind it. Mm-hmm. The entire team from top to bottom. Everything else went wrong, but we operated correctly and we got what we wanted. And to me, it was an amazing success story, not just for me, but for everybody who was involved.
Well, Jesse, I don't want to keep people waiting, man. Let's go ahead and let's take a clip from let's take a clip from the special here. I'll pull it up right now.
Cheers. Yeah, play it, man.
There we go. All right, cool.
Look at this universe. I like this. It's just
all right, here we go. Here's a clip from Jesse's special, Hot Mess, everybody.
A lot of things have changed since I've been out of Youngstown. Number one, I got engaged, so that's really awesome. Yeah. And I sleep with a CPAP machine now, because who's a sexy bitch in this house? For those who don't know what a CPAP machine is, the thing that nursing home people wear so they don't die in their sleep. When it goes like this, it's messed up. I don't breathe right. And I better be engaged, because I can't show up to a one-night stand with the machine going, hey, how you doing, baby? All right, let's get it on. I love you. Oh, yeah. You need time. Let's make this happen. Ready? Because at no point has my fiance ever looked at me like, we gotta make a baby tonight. Let's do this. I'll grab that tube. Let's do it. I think I got pegged in that joke. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
There we go, man. That was I saw that and I was like, yeah, we gotta talk about that one. That was a good joke, man, as always.
Thank you. And it's based on a lot of truth.
You came hard on the first joke, which is that was that by design? Like, is that your style? Like, you came real hard on the first joke, which I actually liked.
Yeah, I like that style of going hard on the first joke. And here's what I think. I mean, when it comes to comedy, I spent years hosting, and just real quickly. Anybody who thinks hosting is below you, it's not. I will still host to this day. I love hosting because you have the opportunity to go first and warm up a cold crowd. And anything you do, if you're successful and you make them laugh, just imagine what happens when the crowd's already warmed up. Just imagine the dynamite that is. So it's so great to go first. So I was always accustomed to always go in with a huge bang, because it also builds your credit with the audience. It makes you go, because comedy is the one thing that an audience can sit and watch and go, I could do that. Like, he's looking like, Yeah, no one like watches a space launch and go, I could do that. No one. No one's out there. No one's calling dibs on that. No one. So you want to establish it. Boom. Here's the joke. Here's the funny. I got you guys for the rest of the night. You guys are here to support me, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to get you laughing right away. So, and like my second special that we're going to film next year in October. I open with I do kind of an Eddie Murphy, like a revisit, like his first joke from his first special and the last special, same topic, but like I do a revisit of it. So I'm just talking about now more of what I learned with my CPAP, and it's a different joke entirely. But I think one of the things that Chris Rock once said, I loved it, is that comedians are like blues singers. Just because we're just not musically talented, so we have to tell jokes. But most of the time we write about this. We write many different songs about the same topics. You look at Bill Burr, guns, getting rid of the population. Like he talks. It's a running theme in all of his specials, but different jokes entirely. So that was it. So long story short, so I don't ramble. I always like starting the show out with a huge bang because. Like I said, it wins the audience over, and there's nothing better than hearing that nice roar of the first laugh. Because as a comedian, you go on stage, and that 2 or 3 seconds between them saying your name and then you getting that first laugh, that time could feel like hours. You know what I mean? It feels like hours, but you get that first laugh, you're like, we're good. Got it. It's like when you start your car. It's like trying to start the shitty car. Like it turns on. You're like, all right, this is gonna be a good night.
Right.
This is gonna be a good night. But like you're telling that joke and the engine's just stalling. You're like, oh, it's gonna start. And we've all had that moment. Oh God, I've had those moments where you tell that first joke and all you hear is the forks on the plate and the knives clinking together. And then not even, some people always think in TV shows where like, oh, the comedian's gonna get booed. No, you don't get booed in real life. You get pitied, which makes you wish you got booed. Like, oh, he tried hard. I had somebody turn around to an audience one time after my first joke failed. He's doing his best. You're like, ma'am, let them boo. Let them boo. All right. It's gonna build some character on me.
Jesse, how long have you been doing comedy for?
I've been doing it for, let's see. Okay, so there's 2 numbers. And so I'm gonna give you the first number because to me that's the official number. I've been doing this since 2011, which make this my 11th year doing comedy. Mm-hmm. But I actually have been writing jokes and performing sporadically before I was 18, before I turned 18. I performed since I was, believe it or not, 13. The problem is that no bar, no venue wants to give a 13-year-old time. Right. You know what I mean? Or a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old. So I would do any type of show, fundraisers. I would lie my way onto a show to be on a show. You know what I mean? And there was times that it paid off and it did really well, and then there was times where they were like, we don't want you to come back, and that was fine. Like, right. Yeah, but so in a weird sense, writing and performing is something that's been in me since 15 years, but for me consistently, I mean, I'm talking like every weekend I'm doing something, I'm on stage, 11 years.
Yeah, that's what's up. So are you like the family jokester at Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that? Everybody looks to you for the joke?
No, I'm the one who gets roasted the most. Every holiday I come home, it's the roast of Jesse. It always is. Like, I kind of always felt like, like when you watch Seinfeld, and Seinfeld wasn't the funniest character on the show. It was all his friends. That's how I feel most of the time when I'm at home. Right. And I think that's good. That's a good thing because, sometimes, we are a reflection of our funny lives. I mean, the difference between the funny guy and the comedian is the comedian can articulate the funny that's in his life.
Right.
because the guy who's just funny, he'll tell you something funny that happened. You don't think it's funny, and then he'll say the iconic phrase, "Well, you had to be there." You know what I mean? Like, you had to be there. Comedians, you can't do that on stage. You can't go, "Yeah, you had to be there."
Yeah.
No one paid for that. They paid for a laugh, and so
that's a joke all by yourself right there. You had to be there. You like,
yeah, you had to be there. That's what I'm gonna do. Until I start bombing, you just had to be there. So that's my new get her done for when jokes fail. I'm just gonna throw that out there as hard as I can.
Why is it important to, go and do things on your own? I'm a firm believer in it. I feel like, the more you know how to do, the more you're capable of finding a different avenues to get you to where you eventually want to go. That's why I always encourage people to do their own things, especially now with YouTube and social media. It really is in the creator's hands of how successful they're going to be. So talk about the importance of like doing everything pretty much on your own. Like, you have help, you have friends and stuff like that. But
yes.
Betting on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, no man is an island. You're always going to find like-minded people who you want to work with. Yeah. I mean, like when you told me, hey, let's do a podcast, I was like, I love this guy. This guy was freaking hilarious at the festival. Of course I want to do this show. So, I mean, it's important to know how to do stuff on your own, because comedy, like I said, there's gonna be times where you're on your own and you need to figure stuff out, and nobody is knocking on your door. There's times where that happens. There's times where, the gig bucket dries up. You're not getting the shows you want. You know what I mean? I've had that time where I look at April, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, this ain't good. Like, something's getting shut off.
Right.
Like, but and it's up to you. You have to cold call venues. You have to sell them on you. You have to convince them you can give them the best show ever. And that goes back to the whole, who cares if they say no? You just need a few yeses. Just to break down a month. All right. Let's say you want to work Friday and Saturday, right? There are 4 Saturdays, there are 4 Fridays. Get 8 yeses. Hell, get 4 yeses and ask them if you can do 2 nights. It doesn't matter if you got 100 no's. No one's going to know you got 100 no's. Everybody's going to look at you and be like, that dude got 8 yeses and he's working every weekend. That's a success story.
Yeah.
They don't look at the percentage. So it's important to know how to do stuff on your own. And if you don't know how to do that stuff on your own, find someone who will teach you. Find somebody who will show you how to do it. Volunteer. One of the things I did was, I couldn't get in. There was a time where when I was in Youngstown, there was a group of people that had a comedy group there. I couldn't get in. I just couldn't break it. I performed in their open mic spots, but they would never take me serious. So one day I just said, screw it. I'm just going to do my own open mics. And at one point I was running the most open mics in town, and they were very successful, and I was making money off of them, and I was being able to pay people, because I would do like 3 open mic spots up front, and then the next spots are paid spots. And I get them paid, I get myself paid, and the people who are open mic, if I like see they're growing, I try to move them into the pay spots. And then I tell people, let's keep filtering it through so everybody's getting paid every once in a while. And that was great. And then what happened was a club owner came to one of my shows. I was just hosting. And again, I was hosting. This is why I tell people, don't ever belittle hosting. A comedy club saw me host, ignored everybody else on the show, said, "You want to work this weekend?" I said, "Hell yeah, I want to work." Because I can work, because I can host. A lot of people, they want to jump to the feature spot, which is great. But if you don't know how to host, trust me, you won't be able to headline, because sometimes what happens when the guy in the middle sucks ass? Like, you got to bring it back up. You got to use your hosting skills. And a lot of times on the road, there's not always a host. A lot of people don't know this. There's a difference between featuring and middling. Middling means there's a guy in front of you that's going to tell jokes. Featuring means you might have a guy who owns the bar who tells really awful jokes that are from a joke book and then brings you up. And if you don't know how to warm the audience up, then you're in trouble. Right. So, but like I said, I got into clubs because I decided I'm just going to do this myself. And there was a time in Columbus where there were certain gatekeepers who aren't around anymore. I wasn't getting the shows I wanted to be on those shows. And I said, screw it. I'm going to work the road then. And I worked the road, and I did very well. You know what I mean? I decided it was tough. There was nights where I was exhausted. I wanted to sleep. I told myself, no, get out to this thing. This club owner, he wants to see you perform, so go do it. You know, I drove 2 hours to Cuyahoga Falls to perform in Funny Stop on Wednesday nights.
Right.
And I'm exhausted. And I had to go to school the next day when I was going to school. I told myself, hey, just make the drive. It'll be worth it. Now I got last year, I got the headline at the Funny Stop. And that was really cool. He gave me a headline spot during the middle of the week. And I was like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? My point is just go out and do it. Don't care about what anybody thinks. Okay, because they're not you. You're not the one. They're not the ones next to you helping you or doing stuff. They're just complaining. Go and do your best. Because I will never give shit to somebody who's out there giving it all they got. Yeah. Because you know what, the person. Because I've seen this happen before. I had a guy who used to shit on this featured act. He was shitting on the guy. He was shitting on a comic who hosted this comedy club. Right, just shitting on him. Right, all the time showing. And next couple of years, that the guy who was featured became a headline, right? Mm-hmm. And still shit on that guy who was hosting, right? And he moved up to feature, still shit on him. Eventually, the guy he was shitting on ended up inheriting the club and owning it. Mm. And guess who fucking didn't work there ever? You know what I mean? And that guy was doing his best. So that's why I tell people, don't shit on people who do the grind. You do not know. That person you think is below you might be the guy who greenlights your sitcom. You don't know.
Right.
So always be humble, always be nice, always be thankful to everybody. I tell people, people are always saying, oh, Jesse, you did a lot for me. I'm like, dude, just remember when I need someone that I want to open for, I want to open for you. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, when the career crashes and the drugs kick in, I need to open for somebody. Trust me. I'm fully prepared to go into my washed up phase.
Right.
That's why I'm nice to everybody. I'm ready to fucking peak.
Yeah. Well, I'll volunteer my services for your next comedy special. If you need me to give you guys water, chips, whatever you need me to do, I'll definitely help. Because I definitely want to see like how it's done.
I'll show you. Yeah.
Just in general, just definitely. So.
Yeah, I'll show you. And that's the thing I always tell everybody. If you have a question to ask me about anything, ask me. I'm not one of those guys that's going to look at you like, why are you asking me? I'll give you the blueprints. I tell people I will give you the blueprints to anything I've done.
Right.
I'll tell you how I did it. I'll tell you when I did it. I'll tell you why I did it. I'll tell you what not to do. I'll tell you what to do. Because here's the thing. This is what I was talking about earlier. Building that community, no man's an island. You can have your island and do stuff, but you got to have the bridges that come in and let people in, because you got to trade with people. You got to trade ideas. That's how everybody becomes successful. I mean, no one needs to gatekeep information. That's the thing. There is right now with online, with all the clubs in the nation, all that stuff, and the non-clubs, the fire hall shows, the VFW shows, and all that stuff. There's enough for us to go around. There's enough for. Imagine if we all got along so sharply. We all ran our own rooms where we were all making decent money, but we were all rotating among our own rooms with each other.
Yeah.
Imagine that. We would be all making money every single week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hand over fist. And that's why I think it's so important, because I think that's achievable. I think creating a network like that is so important to us, because, here's the thing. If we don't take our shit as serious as we want it to be taken, why do we expect anybody else to take it serious?
Right.
Why? Yeah. It's tough because people don't understand the work that really goes into this. That's why I always tell people, don't be afraid to say no to certain things. I was talking to somebody, say no. Someone offered me a door deal, right? And I said no. And I said no because not to be mean, not to be, but it's like, I know that I'm worth more at this point. I know that I've worked hard to get higher up, and I think I deserve more. And that's not greedy. That's not being selfish. That's not being full of yourself. That's valuing yourself and respecting yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have to look at this. You're a product. You're a product. If imagine if like there's a club seeing that you're doing door deals left and right. Why should that club pay you any money you want them to pay you? Why can't they? Why can't the club say, yeah, you're not going to work flat. You're going to work door deal. That would break your heart. You would be like, oh shit. It's I always tell people, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You will always find something better. You will always find. Trust me, I firmly believe that there are times I've failed up. I truly sometimes believe. I don't believe it always. There's sometimes I'm like, I fucked up pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I did. But yeah.
One of the last questions I want to ask you, man, where does like all this confidence come from? You know, like he has an unwavering sense of confidence. Where does all this come from?
Fake. Fake. I am a hypocrite. I am a hypocrite. I will. That is one thing I'm so 100% sure of, is I'm a full-on hypocrite. I will tell you one thing, and then I'll do the next thing the opposite. I'll tell you, like, never doubt yourself, and then I'll be in the mirror and be like, you're so fucking stupid. You know, that's me. But okay, so it's you. At the end of the day, your brain is a muscle. Okay, your brain is a muscle, and you see people that work out, you see people that eat healthy, you see people that exercise, you see them do all this stuff because it's for the benefit of their muscles, their body, and everything like that. So what about the brain? What do you do to feed the brain? The brain is one of the most powerful muscles in your whole entire body, and I believe that because your brain can choose realities. You can believe everything is going great in life, and you can believe everything is going bad in life. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. I mean, if you think you're at the bottom rung of the ladder, you're at the bottom rung. That's it. You're done. So you really have to constantly tell yourself, like, look, I may not be perfect right now, but I'm on my way there. I'm going to get there. You know what I mean? And sometimes don't worry about the adulations. Worry about the creations. You want to do this because you love doing it. Okay? Worry about doing that, and trust me, someone will be out there. Someone will dig it. Someone will dig it. You know, like, you know, you might be putting out videos on YouTube. You might be hitting 0 views. Don't stop. Figure out why it's hitting 0. Look at information. Look up Google stuff like why. How can I get my views up? How's that? Keep going, because eventually you will hit it. Because literally, so I took martial arts growing up, and they said that what a black belt was a white belt who never gave up. So if you constantly move forward and you keep pushing, you will win. And some of my confidence comes from the Rocky films and the Creed films, because I grew up on those films, love all those films. I memorized like every major speech from there. But the first movie was about him wasn't trying to beat Apollo. The first movie, he just wanted to prove to himself he can go all 12 rounds. Everybody in that whole movie believed that he was going to get knocked out in the 3rd round, done. But he lasted all 12 rounds. That was the win for him. Not getting the belt, not trying to knock him down, just the last 12 rounds, and he felt like he was on top of the world. That's all he wanted. And that's what I want to do in my comedy career. I want to go the whole 12 rounds. I want to know that I did everything I wanted to do. All right. And whatever happens at that point happens, because that's in my control, doing those things. And if I do them, fantastic. And it's hard to remind myself of that at times, but you know, I have reminders constantly. Like, so one of the rings I keep on me, it says you're enough. It's really scuffed out. It's really gone. But I have these constant reminders to keep my brain intact and telling myself, no, you're doing it right. You're doing it positive. You know, it like I said, providing yourself with a lot of positive stimulus it's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sell somebody about my commune cult or anything. Like, all right, here comes the Kool-Aid. You know, nothing like that. Nope, don't worry about him dying. That's not poison. Keep drinking. Yeah. Not trying to sell anybody on a death cult here. All I'm trying to say is, you know, out of all the sperm that went into your mother's egg, you made it. You were a 1 in a million shot already. You were a 1 in a million shot. So you are already impossible. Think about it, Ty. What is the odds that I would be speaking to you and you would be speaking to me today on this very day? The number's astronomical. It's literally impossible. But the odds of us talking, but we're here.
Yeah,
we're here. So if everything is that impossible, then everything must be better. I mean, you're here. So make every lap around the sun a victory lap. Yeah. Have fun, enjoy life, do what you love to do, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Don't be a dick, and just know that you're here, and we dig what you're doing. That's it.
I feel like people are definitely going to save this episode. I feel like I'm talking to my father right now. Like I'm getting a good pep talk from my dad. If you're not a dad, you're going to be an amazing dad. Like they're going to come up and like, listen, babe, it's going to be okay. It's just a scrape. What's a scrape? It's nothing to it. Jesse, before we go, man, can you tell people why they should listen to Comedians in Bed?
You gotta listen to this show because you know what? This is like the ultimate hangout for what comics do. This is it. We're hanging out, we're talking, we're having a good time, and here's the thing. You can agree with me on this. Doing an open mic is fun. Doing a comedy show is fun. Doing a comedy, everything, all the comedy club, it's all fun. But there is nothing better than sitting in the back of the green room with the other comics. Right. And trading barbs, trading jokes, trading ideas, trading stories, trading experiences. It to me is like, you know, like when you see like the atom and the cortex and all that science stuff, you know, like the Jimmy Neutron thing where that thing, the little atom like swirling and all that stuff. Yeah. And in the center is this ball. That ball is this show, man. This is what this captures the human spirit of just talking, having a good time, laughing. And I love this show. This is a great show, dude. Really
I appreciate it, man. That's what we're striving for, man. Here, that's exactly the vibe I definitely want to set. Just give a comedian's break, you know, because we go through a lot, just thinking about so much, and just give us that break, man. Where can we got it down low below, but Jesse's comedy special Hot Mess is now available on Roku. It's also available on Prime and YouTube. You guys are definitely going to want to check it out. It's hot stuff, funny stuff. Go ahead, get those views up. I would greatly appreciate it. Jesse, where can people find you at?
Well, like I said, go over to my website, jessepimpinella.com. You'll have all my live dates and everything. I know I'm going to be in Newark this weekend doing the horror comedy roast. I know I'll be doing that. Like I said, I'm a big horror movie fan, so I'm going to be the Wolfman. Then after that, I'm going to be traveling. I go next week. The week after, I'm going to Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Then the week after that, I think I'm taking off because I need to, because I'm in a play as well, because I do too much. Then after that, I go to the Funny Farm Comedy Club in Youngstown, Ohio. So check it all out. JessePimpinella.com. It's got all my information for my comedy special, my videos, blogs, everything, the works. If you wanted to stalk me, this is the kit. This is the kit. like if anybody says it's hard to stalk me, you didn't try hard enough. You didn't go to my website. That's what you didn't do. But yeah, go check out the website. And thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. All the support, and especially from you. Thank you so much for having me on. This was an absolute blast.
Oh man, I had to have you on, man. Working with you at that show was great. It wasn't a lot of people, and that's no fault to nobody. And I love that it was small and it was intimate, and I just freestyled to the best of my ability. So
you were great.
We had a lot of fun, man.
And you and I will work together. We'll talk after the show. I don't want to get into business right now, but we'll talk.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Everybody. Jesse Pimpinella with us today. Let's give him a round of applause for joining Comedians in Bed.
Thank you.